Do you remember the last time you truly felt alive? Not just breathing, but feeling as if the world had stopped for a moment, and all that existed was you and the now? In this video, I'm going to tell you about the day everything changed for me. The day I realized that, despite all the years I'd lived, I hadn't truly woken up yet. If you feel like life has passed by too quickly, that you've lost precious moments trying to please others, or if you wonder if there's still time to start over, stay with me until the end, because this video isn't just about me. It's about us. About all of us who've reached our later years with hearts full of stories, but who sometimes ask ourselves, did I live the right way? The answer might lie in something very simple and very profound. Today, I want to take you on this journey of discovery. And who knows, maybe by the end, you'll also be able to say, now I am truly alive. Life on autopilot. Have you ever wondered how many days of your life passed by without leaving a mark? How many mornings began with the sound of an alarm and ended with a pillow damp from exhaustion, without you even remembering what you truly lived in between? For the longest time, that was my reality. I'd wake up, drink coffee without tasting it, leave the house in a hurry, come home even more rushed, eat dinner in front of the TV, and go to bed with my head full of worries. The next day, it would all repeat. It was like I was on a treadmill, carried along by a system that taught me being an adult meant this: fulfilling obligations, never complaining, and pushing through. But there's something no one told me, or maybe they did, and I just didn't listen. This way of living isn't living. It's enduring, surviving, showing up for life without ever truly being present. And over time, it numbs you from the inside. You become a mechanical version of yourself, a shadow that follows routines, says good morning out of politeness, hugs without warmth, smiles without meaning it. And the more days pass like this, the more your soul hides away. You lose touch with what makes life worth living, meaning on autopilot. You don't notice the smell of fresh coffee in the morning. You don't see the sunlight streaming through the window. You don't catch your grandchild's smile when they ask you to play. You don't taste your food, nor do you really listen when someone asks, "Are you okay?" Because deep down, you don't even know the answer anymore. You just say, "I'm fine," like reciting a password, because that's what's expected, right? That we keep moving forward without complaint. That we handle everything, even if we're falling apart inside. The cruelest trick of autopilot is that it seems functional. After all, we're working, paying bills, taking care of the house. Little by little, it steals our presence. And when presence fades, life goes with it. All that's left is exhaustion. The feeling that every day is the same. That nothing surprises you anymore. That time slips through your fingers like dry sand. And the saddest part? We often realize it too late. When an illness appears. When a loved one is gone. When suddenly the silence in the house screams louder than any outside noise. That's when it hits you. I was alive, but I wasn't living. I remember exactly the day it hit me. I was sitting on a bus, coming back from a doctor's appointment. I looked out the window and saw an elderly woman with her arms full of grocery bags. She stopped on the sidewalk, closed her eyes, and turned her face toward the sun. It was a simple gesture, almost unnoticeable. But it struck me deeply, because I couldn't remember the last time I had done something like that. Stop to feel the sun. Stop to just be in that moment. And right there, on that bus with the city moving around me, I realized I had been moving through life like a distracted passenger. That was the day my awakening began. Because once you realize you're on autopilot, you have a choice. You can keep your hands on the wheel and let everything stay the same. Or you can wake up, take a deep breath, open your eyes and start paying attention. I won't say it's easy. Sometimes it hurts, because when you wake up, you see all the time you've lost, all the hugs given out of obligation, All the words left unspoken, all the beautiful moments that passed right before your eyes, while you were looking the other way. But that's also where the beauty lies. When you wake up, life starts to taste again. You might be in your later years and think, it's too late now. But I tell you with all my heart, it's not as long as there's breath. There's time as long as your heart is beating. There's life to be felt. Turning off autopilot is like taking back the wheel of your own story. You choose the path. Can slow down, stop to admire the view. Roll down the window, feel the wind on your face. Play your favorite song and sing along. Even if you're off key, that's what it means to truly live. It's taking back control and remembering that every day is unique. Every detail matters. And you deserve to be awake for all of it. Because life, when you finally wake up to it, is more beautiful than any dream. The wake-up call that changed everything. Sometimes, your entire life can change in an instant. And strangely enough, it doesn't have to be a big event. It doesn't have to be a tragedy or a miracle. It can be something small. So small that, if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. For me, that wake-up call came on an ordinary morning. The kind of morning I would have completely forgotten if I hadn't suddenly woken up inside. I was sitting at the kitchen table, a cup of coffee in my hand. The radio was playing softly, the kettle still steaming. And right there, in that everyday scene, everything changed. I remember looking at the steam rising from the cup. And for some reason I still can't explain, I stopped, just stopped. I set the coffee aside, turned off the radio, and sat in silence. A deep, rich silence, the kind you can almost touch. And in that silence, I felt something inside me that I hadn't felt in a long time. Presence. I was there, fully, for the first time in years. My mind wasn't on tomorrow's bills, or past mistakes, or endless to-dos. I was simply there, feeling the warmth of the ceramic in my hands. The smell of fresh coffee, the sound of my own breath. It might seem small. It might even seem silly. But it wasn't, because in that moment, I realized I hadn't listened to myself in years. My life had been lived at full volume on the outside, rush, noise, obligations, but in complete silence on the inside. I had lost myself, and all it took was that one pause, that one moment, for me to realize the weight of the emptiness I'd been carrying, a quiet but heavy emptiness. The kind you feel when you've spent too long forgetting what really matters. That wake-up call brought tears. Tears I didn't even know I had stored away. It wasn't sadness. It wasn't joy. It was something in between. It was longing for myself. A reunion with a part of me I'd left behind somewhere along the way. Maybe in my 20s, when life started demanding urgency. Or in my 30s, when everything became responsibility. Or maybe in my 50s, when I started believing that new beginnings were only for the young. But in that moment, with the cup in my hand and my heart racing, I realized it's never too late to come home. And home, in this case, was myself. It's funny how we chase so many things, money, recognition, stability, and forget to chase our own soul. We forget that sometimes it gets left behind, sitting on some bench, waiting for us to remember it. That wake-up call, that sudden halt, made me realize I'd been moving through life without ever really touching it. I played my roles, did what was expected, but felt empty inside. And the scariest part? I'd gotten used to it. I thought it was normal. That everyone felt this way. But it's not normal. It shouldn't be. Living with a numb chest, a distracted mind, a heart stuck on snooze. That's not what we're here for. And that simple moment, that pause over a cup of coffee, taught me something precious. Life doesn't shout. It whispers. And if you're lost in internal noise, you'll never hear it. You have to quiet down to listen to what it's trying to say. Because sometimes what it says is simple, but it changes everything. After that day, I started changing slowly. Nothing drastic, I didn't quit everything and move to the countryside. But I began creating small rituals of presence. Walking without my phone in my pocket, eating mindfully, looking at the sky every morning, calling loved ones for no reason, listening to music and actually hearing the lyrics. Small things. But they brought me back. They reminded me, yes, I'm here. Time passes, but I don't have to pass through it on autopilot. And that change, though quiet, was profound. Because what used to be just another day started becoming unique. I began seeing beauty in things I'd ignored. I felt gratitude for no special reason. And the most beautiful part? I started feeling lighter, like that wake-up call had unlocked a door inside me. A door that led to the truest part of my existence. Maybe you, listening to this now, are also waiting for your wake-up call. Something to shake you awake. To pull you out of repetition and bring you back to yourself. If so, know this: you don't need to wait for something grand to happen. Sometimes all it takes is stopping, taking a deep breath, feeling the now, and letting life speak to you, even if it's through the steam of a coffee cup on an ordinary morning. And when it happens, you'll understand. You'll feel it. You'll remember that being truly alive is so much more than just existing. It's being here, fully. Especially in the small things. Being present is a gift. After that wake-up call, I started seeing life differently. And one of the biggest realizations I had was this: being present is a gift. A simple but powerful one. And yet, one of the most neglected. Because as incredible as it sounds, being here body and soul takes effort. It takes intention. Presence isn't a state that happens by accident. It has to be cultivated, practiced. And at first, I'll admit, it was hard. You know why? Because our minds are always somewhere else. Sometimes in the past, replaying what can't be changed. Other times in the future, worrying about what hasn't even happened. How many times have you sat down to talk with someone, only to realize halfway through that your mind was elsewhere? Thinking about groceries, a doctor's appointment, something someone said that bothered you. It's common. But the problem is, when we're not present, we don't build memory. We don't create connection. It's like living in scattered fragments of time, jumping from one thought to another, never fully landing anywhere. Being truly present means looking into someone's eyes when they speak and listening. Being in a conversation without already planning your reply. Hearing your child's voice on the phone without getting distracted by the TV. Tasting your food instead of swallowing it like a task. Going for a walk and noticing the details. The blooming tree on the sidewalk. The bird singing on the lamppost. The smell of wet grass. Simple things that are always there, but only noticed by those who are here. And listen, this isn't about romanticizing everyday life. It's not about seeing poetry in everything all the time. It's about valuing the now. Because now is where life happens. The past is out of reach. The future hasn't arrived. All we have is this exact moment. And when we start honoring that, something inside us shifts. Our heart slows down. Our mind quiets. Our soul smiles. Because it finally feels like we've come back. I remember one afternoon visiting my granddaughter. She must have been about 6. We were in the backyard and she asked me to play hide dash and dash seek. My first thought? Play with this back pain? With so much to do. But something in me said, go, so I did. I hid behind a tree, barely keeping my balance. And when she found me, she laughed in a way that filled my chest for days. In that moment, I realized I could have missed this, something so simple and so eternal. Because these little fragments, a look, a laugh, a gesture, are the real foundations of memory. And only those who are present get to live them. In our later years, we often have more time, but less presence. Because our minds fill with memories. Because fears grow deeper. Because loneliness creeps in. and our thoughts carry us away, but that's exactly why presence becomes medicine. A way to come back to our body, to step out of past pains or future worries. Being present is an act of self-care, a gesture of self-love. It's saying to yourself, I deserve to live this moment fully. And the most beautiful part? When we start practicing this, the people around us change too. They feel our presence, they open up, they connect. Because deep down, we're all starved for real attention. We all want to be seen, heard, held. And when we offer that, when we're truly with someone, without hurry, without distraction, we're giving the most valuable thing we have, our essence. So, today, if I can leave you with one invitation, it's this: be here, wherever you are right now, in the kitchen, on the couch, in your room. Listening to this with your phone in hand, take a deep breath. Feel the weight of your body on the chair. Notice the sounds around you. Observe your breathing. This is presence. This is real life happening. And the more you practice this state, the more natural it becomes. Life isn't in the big events. It's in the touch of a hand, the smell of baking bread, the song that moves you, the long embrace, the details. Being present is making space inside yourself for life to enter. And when that happens, you don't need much to feel whole, because everything that matters is already here. And so are you. The value of small things. The truth is, most of what truly matters in life doesn't make noise. It doesn't make headlines, earn applause, or dazzle the eyes. It passes by quietly, often unnoticed, yet these small things are what silently hold our souls together. It took me many years of rushing, chasing big goals, to finally realize the value of what had always been right in front of me. When we're young, everything feels urgent. We want to do, to prove, to achieve. We want to leave our mark on the world. But there comes a time, maybe only after a certain age, when we begin to understand that the most precious parts of life were never the things we ran so hard to reach. They were always the details. I remember one evening, simple, unremarkable. I was sitting on the porch, a blanket over my legs, a cup of tea in my hands. The sky was that same orange hue I remembered from childhood, walking home from school. And in that moment, I felt such deep peace. Nothing special was happening. No good news, no grand achievement. But the sound of crickets in the distance, the smell of fresh air, the warmth of the tea in my hands, it all wrapped around me. It reminded me, I'm still here, alive. And that alone is a miracle. Small things have the power to anchor us in the present. They rescue us when we're lost in our own thoughts. When loneliness weighs heavy, when pain strikes, when life feels colorless, it's a simple gesture that can change everything. An unexpected phone call, a flower blooming in the yard, a grandchild's genuine laughter, the smell of a home-cooked meal. These moments don't come with captions announcing their importance. They just happen. And it's up to us to be awake enough to recognize them as the gifts they are. For years, I searched for meaning in grand things. I thought I had to do something extraordinary for my life to matter. But now, looking back, I see that the moments that warm my heart the most are the ones no one witnessed. Sunday family dinners, the table full, conversation flowing, tight hugs at the front door, quiet breakfast with toast and comfortable silence, rainy afternoons spent reading an old book, listening to water tap against the window. No one ever applauded these moments, but they're what still sustain me. In our later years, we have the privilege of seeing more clearly, of noticing what once slipped by. And more than that, we have the chance to teach others what truly matters, because younger generations live in a hurry. They're connected to everything except the present. And maybe the greatest gift we can give them is our example, to show that life can be simple and still wonderful. That paying attention can turn an ordinary afternoon into something eternal. When we learn to value small things, We also treat ourselves more gently. We respect our own pace, listen to our limits, forgive ourselves more easily. Because we understand, life isn't a race to somewhere. Life is the path. And every step, no matter how small, matters. Maybe today, when you finish this video, you'll look around and see nothing extraordinary. But I invite you to try something. Pay attention. Notice the light through your window, the sounds around you, the smell of food, the taste of coffee. Call someone you love. Look into the eyes of whoever's near you. Feel the weight of your own breath. You'll realize it's all here. Life never stopped being beautiful. We just forgot to look. And when we do look with calmer eyes, a more open soul, we see that the small things were always the big ones. That what seemed simple, routine, unimportant, was exactly what gave our story meaning. Because in the end, when we say goodbye to this world, it's not possessions, titles, or achievements that accompany us. It's the memories made of scent, touch, laughter, shared silence. These small things woven together are what we call a life. And learning to see that's one of the surest signs we're finally, truly alive. The day I realized I was truly alive. Now that you've walked with me through these memories, discoveries, and quiet moments, maybe you've realized this video wasn't just about me. It was about you too. Because deep down, we all reach a point where we need to stop, breathe, and ask, honestly, am I living or just existing? That question might seem simple, but it carries the weight of decades of rushed choices, unspoken words, postponed dreams, and that's okay. We're not perfect. We've all made mistakes. We've all lost our way at some point. But there's one thing time can't take from us: the ability to begin again. Because being truly alive doesn't depend on age or circumstances. It depends on a decision to open our eyes. Not just the eyes in our face, but the eyes of our soul. Being truly alive is looking at the morning sky and being grateful for another day, feeling the ground beneath your feet and knowing it still holds you, hearing a loved one's voice and feeling moved, as if for the first time, looking inward with courage, acknowledging what still hurts, and choosing to move forward with dignity and hope. Some believe life loses its spark as the years pass, but I say it's the opposite. It's now, with the wisdom time has given us, that we see more clearly, not with tired eyes, but with a more attentive heart. Now we know what matters. We know haste steals peace, that pride pushes away, that love is urgent, that forgiveness is freedom, that ordinary days are, in truth, extraordinary. If you feel like you're still on autopilot, just going through the motions, come back to what makes you feel. To what makes you smile. To what quiets your soul. Because no matter your age, you can still live fully. You can reconnect with old friends. Pick up a forgotten hobby, write a letter, laugh until your stomach hurts. Love again. Wake up each day wanting to be you. And if you've made it this far, if you've listened with an open heart, maybe today is your wake-up call. Maybe today's the day you realize you, too, can be truly alive. And if it is, I ask you one thing: don't go back to sleep inside. Don't let the rush drag you under again. Don't settle for a lukewarm life. Live with intensity. With presence. With purpose. Because the world needs awake people. People who see beauty in simplicity. Who cherish connection. Who understand every sunrise as a chance to do better. To be better. To touch someone with a word, a gesture, a good memory. And now, I have an invitation for you. A call to action. If this video touched your heart, share it. But not just with a click. Share it with presence. Call someone you love and say, I thought of you today. Send this to a friend who's been quiet lately. To a family member who seems to be merely existing. And more than that, comment below. Tell me, when was the moment you realized you were truly alive? Maybe your story will be someone else's wake-up call. This channel is a place of exchange, of warmth, of lived wisdom. And your voice matters. Your experiences have value. Your journey, with all its scars and blossoms, could be the inspiration someone needs. To wake up. To begin again. To live. Remember, Kalan, as long as you're breathing, there's still time. As long as your heart beats, you can choose to live truthfully. And when that happens, the world changes because you change. And the light in your eyes is the surest sign that life still pulses fiercely within you. Thank you for being here. Now go and live, but live for real.